Hi, I'm Nancy O'Neill, Director of Detroit Business Hub Group. Welcome to the Detroit Business Hub Group podcast. Listen to business professionals share their expertise to help you start and accelerate your business. Invest in your business now. All right, so Greg, introduce yourself, and then after that, you're going to tell us how you got started with your farmer's business.
All right. Well, hello, everyone out there in podcast land and Zoom land and everywhere else. My name is Greg Blackwell. I'm the principal agent of Greg Blackwell Insurance Agency. We are a farmer's insurance office. I've been an insurance agent for over the past 10 years now, providing such levels of insurance such as auto insurance, home insurance, life insurance, business insurance, even health insurance, just to name some of, and I'm actually leaving some stuff out. So that's my intro. And you had another question after that.
Yeah, how did you get started with your farmer's insurance business?
Gotcha. So I've been in sales since I was, a young lad. I've been in sales since probably age 19, 20 years old. And so I sold vehicles at a dealership. I turned into their number one salesperson before age of 21.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And long story short, I had a great time selling vehicles. I used to come in contact with insurance agents, and I kind of kept that in the back of my head as being, a potential business that I may go into. So after selling cars for about 12, 13 years, I decided to try something new, and I picked up the phone and reached out to farmers, and they liked, my background, and they liked, I had a high level of customer satisfaction. I had a huge, at the time, client base, and they kind of liked all the things that I was working with at that time. And very difficult to do, but they literally gave me an opportunity to open up my own, franchise, if you will. So I didn't have to protege or work underneath anybody. I just started my own from the beginning. Even right now, you couldn't do that. They don't. It's very difficult to do it how I did it. I was just lucky and blessed, I would say. And so that's how I got started from selling vehicles for a living to opening up my own insurance agency.
Okay. All right, and tell us about the July, the auto reform in Michigan. What's happening right now currently?
Excellent question. So glad you asked. A whole lot.
Okay.
A lot of stuff is going on. I mean, this is about to be such a game changer. The amount of uninsured motorists is going to decrease by a big number.
Okay.
Property values are going to increase because the cost of insurance is going to be far more affordable. So what's happening in literally a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, is as opposed to folks having to have unlimited medical on their car insurance policy, they'll have the option of having unlimited medical or a lower degree of medical coverage. And there's a few different buckets that folks can pick from. And so it is not for everybody, and it's not like a blanket. I mean, I've spoke with one client who I said, no, you really shouldn't change it. I've looked at my own policy. I'm not going to change my unlimited medical just because it doesn't make that big of a difference. But then I spoke to a senior who, just to throw some numbers out, was paying $1,600 every 6 months for no fault only, and I can get her full coverage for $600 every 6 months.
Wow, that's a big difference, especially for a senior. So in her case, in the way she drives, she's she's okay with making some of those changes. But even then, in her case, as opposed to just cutting out the medical altogether, we still went with. She still wanted to at least have $250,000 of medical coverage, so that way she has something from the insurance company in addition to what she'll get from Medicare, because Medicare is they are extremely limited in terms of what they cover and how they cover it. And make no mistake about it, nobody plans on being in an accident,
But make no mistake about it. Okay, if you're hurt in a hospital, you would want to have the car insurance as your health insurance, par none. Make no mistake about it. But nobody kind of plans on, I'm going to be in a car crash tomorrow. So the mindset is kind of like, well, it'll never happen because it hasn't happened.
Right.
So.
Okay. All right. And then how can Michigan residents save on home and auto insurance?
Good question. Well, so really, the best way to save is to, make yourself a good risk by making sure you're proactively protecting your investments, such as your house and your car. And then from that, you want to work with, an insurance professional. I discourage the 1-800s and, call, insure me over the phone and, and that, because every time I look at a policy where somebody's coming in from, they miss a lot of stuff. And there's a lot of things that are, the clients aren't aware that they're not covered for. So I'd say it's best to work with a agent that you feel comfortable with, that is kind of on the same, that you have access to, that you again feel comfortable discussing your insurance needs with. And if you could, if you run into a good agent, whether you necessarily have your house and car with them, they can still consult with you and make it to help you make sure that all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed. And myself, that's my value proposition. Is really is the service and the peace of mind that I provide. When I insure somebody, I like to say, the levels of coverage and things I have in place gives me a great amount of peace of mind. I'm very empathetic. So, and I'm realizing that now more so than ever, but I kind of feel my clients' emotions and so forth. The long story short is we all sleeping good. I mean, if a client has me, we don't have any worries. There's no boxes that are unchecked. I'm not worried about getting a phone call. This happened and, am I covered for it? If you're with me, we're confident and we know what you have and don't have, And so anyway, you want to be able to work with somebody who, not just there when you pay them, but also there when something bad happens as well. And that's myself.
So in other words, you're saying by hiring an insurance agent, your insurance agent can possibly save you money on your home and auto insurance.
And make sure that, what you're paying for is what you're actually getting. I mean, at the end of the day, you're paying for peace of mind,
Right.
And how much peace of mind do you have, it depends on, how it was purchased, just at the end of the day, it's just a piece of paper, right? It's just all it is. It's just a piece of paper.
It's a little bit more than that. It's more like a contract.
Well, yeah, it's right. It's a two-way contract too, by the way.
Absolutely.
So without knowing it, so essentially, my clients can feel confident in what they have is going to do what it's supposed to do. So
I think that's the key too. Even if you're not saving money, at least you have a professional that's there to explain your coverage. So if you do decide to make cuts, you're going to know how much that's going to cost you in the end. So you might save a little bit of money on your liability coverage, but God forbid, if you're in an accident, that might come back to haunt you down the road.
Yeah, and you have somebody who can articulate, what exactly, okay, well, you're saving this, but this is why you're saving it, and this is what you're giving up. So somebody who can articulate the spots and dots in terms of what you have and what you won't have. And that's increasingly more important with this new PIP reform, because I just wanted the cheapest thing out, and lawyers may not even pick up the case because, like, say you're in a bad, like right now, if you're in a bad car crash, you got the ambulance chasers. They want to, hey, we can get you all kind of benefits. Don't worry about it. We got you, right? You get the cheapest of the cheap. A lawyer may not even pick up the case because it's just Medicare. You don't need a lawyer for that. And so it's going to be a stark contrast. And again, it's something that you really want to have somebody who could, walk you through those intricacies. Not to toot my own horn, but I guess I will. I also sell health insurance as well. And so I'm able to kind of, from a standpoint, because it's really what we're talking about as it relates to car insurance is your health insurance, and then the health insurance that comes from the car insurance. And so I can kind of, give somebody real case scenarios in terms of where their medical insurance is going to end and where their car insurance is going to begin, from being experienced in both, obviously, insurance, automobile insurance, but also from being selling health insurance as well.
Right. All right, great.
Good questions.
Thank you. Okay, next question. What are some of the products and services you offer other than home and auto insurance?
Yeah, so and one thing I almost forgot to say too, the biggest thing that I offer is peace of mind.
Right.
And a lot of my clients say we provide world-class service. So let me make sure I put that out there.
Well, before you answer the next question, tell me what PIP coverage means, because you did mention PIP, but everybody doesn't know what that stands for, what it means.
Okay, PIP coverage is personal injury protection, and it's one of about 8 line items on your car insurance policy. And again, that's personal injury protection. So that PIP coverage is designed to protect yourself, the driver, as well as the driver's household members. So if the kids are in the car, that personal injury protection also protects them as well.
Okay.
And that's the acronym PIP, personal injury protection.
Gotcha. Okay, next question. What other services do you offer besides home and auto insurance?
I have a Series 6 and 6.3, which allows me to offer financial services. Above and beyond having the Series 6 and 6.3, I'm also certified by the American College in financial services as well. So some of the unique things that I offer that folks really pay a lot of attention to when I talk about is a way to, as opposed to having a car note, to invest and buy a car cash. So that's one of the unique instruments that I'll show folks a lot of times, one of the tools that I'll show them. I also do things such as deductible savings programs. So we all, if somebody has a house and a car and everything has $1,000 deductible on it, we can put a fund together that starts to pool money, so that way there's funds available when these bad things happen. But then hopefully nothing bad happens, and that investment is creating a positive return.
Gotcha.
So those are some of the things that I do, but also do somebody switching jobs. I can do want to take their 401k from their old employer. We do that. I assist with that. I also do retirement planning, such that some things such as if I want to open up a Roth IRA, and then I also have the ability to do basically what I call blueprinting or road mapping of the success path. So if somebody I'm talking with somebody and they want to retire and move to Hawaii in the next 30 years or 15 years, and I have the knowledge and know-how to show them how we can bridge that gap and take them from where they're at right now to where they want to be.
Okay.
And product-wise, I'm still leaving out some products.
Yeah, don't forget business insurance. That's who we're talking to, is potential business owners.
So as it relates to business insurance, I'm doing professional liability, which is important for for professionals such as accountants, attorneys, counselors in a lot of situations, even massage therapists, even those who teach physical training and so forth, barbers, just to name some of. And so, in addition to, I also do professional liability, insuring property. If they lease a space, or if they own a space, or even if they don't have any space, that's okay too. So I do that level of business insurance.
Okay.
Yeah. In addition to business life insurance, worked on Keyman Life Insurance. Have you ever heard the term Keyman Life Insurance? We do some of that. That's basically where you got you own a business, but you got a manager who is pretty much, without this manager, the business probably would really suffer. So it's a good idea in those instances to put a life insurance on that manager to protect the business in the event that something happens to that key person. Thus the term key man.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so those are one of the levels of insurance that I'm doing, and everything from flood insurance to motorcycle insurance to RV insurance, just name some of the things that I do.
Yeah, that is a nice thing about Farmers is they offer such a wide range of coverage that it really is like a one-stop shop for insurance anyway.
Yeah, so Farmers is a well-known, well-recognized, well-respected brand. Farmers has a history and reputation for doing a great job as it relates to claims. Farmers has a JD Power and Associates ranked them, the best as it relates to claims. And so, for me, it's relatively easy, to service and sell Farmers insurance products because they make we make a strong promise and we keep it, and so we're not the carrier that's looking for a reason to get out of anything. We want to make sure we want to make sure our clients are protected and we do what we say we're going to do.
All right, is this a good time for your customers to review their home and auto insurance coverage?
It is. Well, the short answer is yes, and literally, and this is the advantage of folks who do have an agent, who's local. So literally, I've already started scheduling appointments for clients who want to come into the office and sit down and let's go over the different nuances as it relates to this new PIP reform, so everybody can make an educated decision. So in short, for the month of July, although July is, everybody's kind of ramping up everybody's going to be shopping and so forth. My focus is, taking excellent care of the clients that we already have and making sure that they're serviced and making sure that they have an opportunity to come in and sit down face to face. As we always do, I got clients that come in every year and we'll just sit down and go over their insurance needs and so forth. So that option is available, but obviously with COVID-19, some folks don't feel comfortable coming out yet. And in fact, I was at the office today putting up the COVID-19 plexiglass and all the, making sure we got everything where folks feel safe and comfortable. But we're doing meetings online as well. So I'll take a client and say, hey, well, let's meet just like we're meeting right now. We'll meet and discuss their policy and so forth. So we're doing it virtually. And in those rare situations, we'll just do it straight up over the phone. But the preference is certainly face-to-face. That's our preference. And that way, nothing gets lost in translation. Everything is crystal clear. And, I can make sure that they understand, what they have and don't have.
Okay, great.
So excellent time to review, excellent time to review your, insurance. Absolutely.
All right, we touched on this a little bit already, but why should a customer come to you in Farmers Insurance versus one of your major competitors?
Yeah, so excellent question. I'd say why they should come to me, so hopefully they're being referred to me. As most of my clients are word of mouth. And so literally they got a friend, a relative, or a family member who has dealt with my agency in the past or currently, and they can kind of, and so at that point, they can kind of tell them the reasons why, and, that they've been nothing but pleased with the service they receive. But I would say, in this marketplace, okay, it's relatively hard to find a licensed insurance practitioner, or an insurance agent who's been around for a little bit, who's still there. I mean, and so if you have that option, or if that's available, and that's going to be the best way, especially with what's going on now, to take care of and deal with
your insurance. So I think they should choose me. Farmers does a great job. Farmers is well known for doing an excellent job as it relates to claims. We do cast a wide net, so we service just about all lines of insurance. So a client never has to leave us, whether it's auto insurance, home insurance, business insurance, life insurance. We're that one-stop shop. So we're, which by the way is more difficult to provide. It's easier just to do home insurance and home insurance only.
Right.
Let another carrier do the auto insurance only. It's far more difficult to service all lines of coverage. But statistically, the more lines of coverage that you are able to offer to a client, the more likely they're going to stay with you for years and years and years. So from that standpoint, I feel like it pays dividends. Maybe not immediately, but certainly in the future, because clients do stay with you longer when you do have more, when you can service more of their needs. I think they should, as they're looking, decide on the agent, decide on location, how close is this maybe relative to your home or work. I think they should decide on experience, if there's any experience factors that they can set into the equation. I bear the designation of SFCP, which is just one of the designations, and I've met one person who has that same designation.
What does that mean?
Financial Services Certified Professional.
Okay.
Yes. So I will, I will look for, those who do have designation. Those are really dedicated to their craft, and those that you can relate to. I'm probably not for everybody. There's probably somebody else if somebody else relates to that person better and they have a better business rapport and so on and so forth, I think there should be a level of comfort, and it should be who that person is comfortable doing business with. And I'm okay with, if I'm not that person, that's okay with me as well. Yeah.
Okay. What are some of your accolades as well? What are some of the awards that you've received as a farmer's agent?
Thank you for asking. I don't get a chance to talk about that, but Topper Club. So out of about 15,000 agents, the top 3,000 can achieve Topper Club. And since being an agent, I've done that twice in my 10-year time being a farmer's agent. And then from there, we're broken up into districts. And from at a district level, I've been, last year, I was the district agent of the year. And then the year before that, I was the district agent of the year. Then there's another award for life insurance, as we call it, the Dombrowski Cup. And this is a guy, Dan Dombrowski, who was an agent who I've met a few times, went to lunch with, hung out with, and he develops a rare form of cancer, and he's on his deathbed. And what does he do on his deathbed? He worked his office every day until the day he died. And we just watched him lose a whole bunch of weight. And but what did he want to do on his deathbed? I mean, he wanted to get all the agents together and say, hey, you guys, this is serious. Make sure you're making sure that everybody has plenty of life insurance. He says, I'm dying. Do you think I care how much a premium is right now? I wish I'd have bought more, life insurance. So on his deathbed, that's all he wanted to do is make sure everybody had enough life insurance. And so, long story short, I listened, heard. I mean, I've seen what he went through, and we've named an award in his honor for those who write the most amount of life insurance, and I won it 2 years in a row. And probably going to win it again this year. There's another award called the Blue Vase Award, and that's for you only get that once in a career opportunity to win it, is when you first start as an agent, and you have to write. For me, it was like you have to write either 9 life policies in the first 6 months of opening up, and if you miss that marker, you got to write 21. Is 9 life policies in 3 months, or is 21 in 6? I want to say it is. Long story short, I wrote 22 life policies in my first 6 months, and I missed the first 3 months, by the way.
So I wrote a lot of life policies. At the end, I won that award. Farmers turns around and offer that program again because it's supposed to be a once in a career opportunity to win that award. They offered it again. And I turned around and, won that award again. Me and about 2 other folks in my district actually won that award. So, I'm pretty proud of, the traction and what's been going on with my office and with my agency. The awards kind of tell me that I'm doing the right things. Farmers appreciates the business that I'm writing. And the, the clients appreciate the business that I'm writing and the coverage that they have. And so it just puts me in a position where, when there's changes in the economy and when the, rates may change and when the wind blows, if I match a customer with a company and they both care about the relationship, with the weather doesn't affect that relationship. When the wind blows, everything still remains in place. And so really my business philosophy has been just that, to create win-win situations. So the client wins, the company wins, I want to win, so everybody wins. And if those things aren't happening, I choose. I don't do business. I'll say no. It doesn't fit you. It doesn't fit us. It doesn't fit. And long story short, that business, is not the easiest to. Those win-win scenarios are not the easiest to create and so forth. But I tell you what, they stand the test of time though when you create them. Yeah, and so the long story short is that's just my business philosophy, and that's just and it just kind of gets reinforced. It just gets reinforced as I move along and so forth.
All right, tell us what percentage of your client base comes from referrals, and why are referrals so important?
So I don't want to throw numbers out because I should look at this, right, and I should have. I would say is not quite 50%. I know I'm not at half referral.
Okay.
So I would say less than half is referral based. I still get a lot of. So right now I'm literally as far as when I started there was like 7 farmers insurance, maybe 8. I don't know the exact number, but I'm the only farmers insurance office in Southfield, right? And so long story short is, I'm getting more calls, which is a good thing.
Right.
But I'm a lot of new inquiries, but, a little bit less than 50%, under 50% a repeat referral, I should say.
Okay. That's a huge percentage, though. That's great. And then how can potential or prospective customers or clients contact you if they're interested in getting a quote or doing business with you?
Yeah, so everybody's on the phone and on the internet. If you can remember my name, Greg Blackwell, and just Google it, I'll pop right up, Farmers Insurance, the number will pop right up and so forth. I'm in Southfield, Michigan. My phone number is 248-833-0070. Again, 248-833-0070. So folks can call, or folks can just do a quick little Google search, and I'll pop right up, and they can dial from there. They can even send electronic correspondence for me to contact them back as well.
Yeah, they can just type in Farmers Southfield, and you're the only agent that's going to pop up. So that's
pretty much. Life is good right now. Life is good.
That's good.
This is the point where I guess when I first got into insurance, and they kind of just if you build this thing up and if you create it and so on and so forth. So I guess I'm 10 years into this thing. I'm finally at that point where like, wow, if you just survive the storms and you ride the ups and the downs,
Yeah, you hit a sweet spot. Yeah, the renewable income that's very nice. That doesn't happen a lot with that many businesses. So those recurring payments help out a lot.
It's so that's something that's not talked about much. It's probably not hyped up as much. I mean, there's other businesses that I'll hear about, pyramid type businesses, and this. You get residual income, and you get this, and you.
Right.
And we don't make much of a big deal about it. Even if I hire somebody or recruit somebody, we don't make as much of a big deal. But let me tell you, so I've been through a couple of storms in my life, and probably one time I probably didn't work for 7-8 months, and it was nice. Everything just clicked right along. Everything, I mean, it was amazing. It amazed me, put it like that. And so residual income or renewal, well, it's basically renewals. It's nice, it's very nice. It's a nice thing to build up. It takes a lot of service and a lot of dedication and so forth. And it's not just autopilot. I mean, you still have to service existing clients, and you definitely can't take them for granted. But I mean, insurance is a residual business, and it's really nice once you build that up.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. Greg is a Detroit Business Hub Group member, so feel free to take a look at his bio on our website page at nancy.com/DBHG group. We appreciate you being on the podcast with us this evening, and hopefully you can contact or participate in our monthly call tomorrow at 6 p.m. as well, if you're available.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm still trying to learn and grow. I'm reading a pretty good book, Fire Your Boss.
Fire your job, be your own boss.
Fire your job, be your. I'm probably maybe 15. I'm on page 36. I want to say.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're reading my book.
It's a good read.
Sounds good. All right, great. Well, we look forward to working with you in the future and to a great business partnership, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you very kindly. Thanks for having me today. I really appreciate it.
Okay, thanks for being on the podcast.
No problem.
Thank you for joining us today. Detroit Business Hub Group is committed to your success. Go to nancyoneal.com/DBHG for business tips, blogs, videos, and virtual classes. Watch your investment pay off.